All right, good morning, guys. Hope everyone is having a good morning. And yeah, we have some plays on our hands this morning. We have a bunch of gappers this morning, and I'm gonna go through the watch list right now. We just had a CTRM, a shipper, just come out with some news, trying to find out what was the exact news here. I see it on my symbol on my level 2, but I'm not seeing it yet on Yahoo Finance. So just trying to find around, what's the deal with this CTRM play here. It is a shipper, a low float stock. So we'll keep it on watch. Other than that, I'm going to go through the watch list right now. Let me just pull over my chart. Alright, so we got quite a few plays on watch this morning. OPGN, first stock I'm going to go over. This is the big play yesterday. Had a really nice rip, pre-market, and had some nice opportunity intraday throughout the day. Then, heading into power hour, I had this huge stuff move here, lots of unloading. But guys, give me 1 second. I apologize. I'm so sorry. Thank you, Stockblock. Appreciate that. So we have a contract winner. All right. So we'll definitely keep it on watch. See what it does. Very low float here on CTRM. Is a shipper. Yes, I know how shippers are. So definitely keep it on watch. So OPGN, just had this crazy move yesterday. Lots of opportunity intraday. Then it towards the end of the day was a pretty big fader. All the way from $12 to lows of 7 yesterday into the close. Now we have a gap down this morning. So on OPGN, I'll be looking for pops to short into. I'm eyeing this 850 to 950 level on OPGN for a fail. This thing ever gets back over 9 and starts to hold that level, I'll probably look to stop out. Anything above that, I do want to avoid on OPGN. Looking at the chart here, it does have some more room to the downside on OPGN. Eyeing this 650 level on OPGN this morning. Alright, next we do have TOPS. Kind of the same plan with TOPS. We have the day 2 pattern here. I'll be looking for a spike to like the 775 area to this 820 area. Anything over that, we'll look to stop on out. The daily chart here was a recent reverse split on TOPS. Have to be careful still on these low flow plays on these day 2s. These still are micro floats, so we do have to be cautious. So I'll be eyeing a pop to like 775 to like this 825 level. If this thing ever gets over like 850, starts to hold, we'll look to stop out on TOPS. Right now it is down a lot, $7. So we may not even get that that spike on up, but if it does, I'll be ready. All right, next, EDSA. Now EDSA, I don't have any bias on EDSA at the moment. I know this was formerly SBOT, which was a kind of a turd. Did go on a lot of gap and craps on SBOT. So I don't really have a bias on EDSA. I did see a trader did say that the float was higher than 2 million. So it is a little bit higher in float. Let me just get that exact number for you guys. Give me 1 second. Yeah, so alright, so Tom K posted it is 7 million in float. Like I said, Tom's really good at the fundamentals. He probably went through the filings, and he's saying that the float is 7 million. So it's not a micro float, but it's still a low float, so we can still keep it on watch. But right now you can see the level 2 of the tape's very slow. It's pretty heavy right now. So, we'll see what it does out of the gates. If it starts to pop, 550, and I see like a lot of soaking on the ask, looking pretty weak, maybe I'll look to take a, starter position short. Maybe look to add and ultimately risk that $6 line. So we're just gonna play it by ear on this one. See how the level 2 looks, see how the tape looks, and go from there. And obviously we'll be keeping a close eye on the volume as well. And yeah, other than that, just Jivo is the other one I'm watching. Another Terra Jivo. So I'll be watching this one right out of the gates on Jivo. And we didn't trade a ton of volume yesterday, I don't believe. Yes, we only traded about 3 million shares yesterday, so this is probably going to be a very low volume play. So, I don't really like trading super low volume plays, so, this is just one on the back burner on GEVO. Alright, so that's the watches for this morning. Alright, so it's 9:17 right now. You got about 13 minutes to this market opens. Kind of a weird week, day off. I missed Tuesday. It's kind of a weird week for me, but I'm just gonna power through it, and see if we have any good setups today, and make some trades. Yesterday I had first green day of the month. Made about $1,000 yesterday, and looking to carry over this good momentum. I think I'm on a pretty good streak right now. I think I looked at like 6 or 7 green days in a row. So I want to keep the streak going. And, see what we have in store for us today. CLDR. I do believe that's the one that Carl Icahn took a stake in. Yeah, this one, just a nice steady grinder on CLDR. Nice uptrend. Riding above this 13 EMA line. Has a nice gap to fill here, up all the way to 848. Is this the one that I was gonna swing and then took a loss on it on CLDR? It's the one that Carl Icahn invested into. Sounds familiar. Yeah, I'm not too sure. I don't think it was. But yeah, definitely a nice looking play right there. Nice grinder on the daily chart. With rooting the rum up to this 848 level. TEUM. Pretty beat chart right there, but saying has some good news. Float is a little bit higher. So yeah, we'll see. We do have a few plays in the gaps this morning. We have CTRM, we have EDSA, ELTK. So I want to see where my momentum's going to go to. What's going to be the crowded play of the day, and that's where you want to attack when you're longing. When you're longing, you want to be where the crowd is. You want to be where the majority is. Because that play's going to have the best volume, best momentum, and it's probably going to have the best potential to go on a nice rip and run. You don't want to be where the crowd's not. If the crowd's on EDSA and CTRM starting to fade, that's probably where you want to be on EDSA. Vice versa. That's how I like to trade long. I don't really like longing the sympathy plays. Yes, there's a possibility sympathy play can run, but usually most of the time the sympathy play will be forgotten about, and that one will fade. Just a little tip for for longing. And this morning I'm seeing a lot more short potential. We have TOPS, we have OPGN, we have GVO, EDSA could possibly be a fader, CTRM could be a fader. If I had to be honest, I'm not seeing anything I'm too in love with on the long side this morning, if I had to be honest. It's very possible that, CTRM or EDSA can definitely get momentum and start to go. But, it's going to have to prove itself to me. Can I check SIG? Yep. SIG, nice little gap here. Let me see what's going on. So it looks like an earnings winner on SIG. Do have an earnings winner here. Let's see the float. Float 50 million, not too bad for a higher price stock. So yeah, this chart was pretty beat, and have a 40% short float, with good earnings. So yeah, this definitely could be a nice little play, mid cap stock, $13, $14 stock. So yeah, earnings winner, high short float, decent float, high institutional ownership. So this could definitely be a nice momentum play here on SIG if this is your type of play. All right, so we got about 8 minutes. 8 more minutes. So right at the gates, we'll be watching CTRM and EDSA. I think one of these two plays, either CTRM or EDSA, can be a nice, could be a nice long possibly. I don't have a bias on either one of these plays. Shippers are kind of weird. They kind of have their own mind of its own. Pretty unpredictable on shippers. That's why I kind of like investing in them early. CTRM is one that I like for a possible shipper play, but it's a little early. It's September 5th. Usually we see shippers run October, November, but it's possible they could get some early momentum now and start to go now. It's possible, but these are tougher to day trade though. The shippers, very tough. You saw tops yesterday, pretty tricky. The long side on TOPS. This is another shipper on tops. Yesterday we saw. So what did this one do? So had a had a washout at the open. Had a trap shorts, then trap longs, trap shorts, then trap longs. So you can see pretty choppy there on TOPS. So we'll see what CTRM has in store. This is a former runner. High institutional ownership. Low float. You can see it's gone on some massive rips back in the past. So see what it has in store today. Just kind of making some new highs now. 420s. Johnny made $266 on CTRM. Awesome job, man. All right, 5 more minutes till we open on up. Sorry if I sound a little tired. Just having just a weird week for me. So sorry if I sound a little tired today. But can't miss a trading day. Unless I'm throwing up sick, I'm still gonna be here, live streaming. Matt, I never really recommend anyone to follow my trades. I want you guys to be your own trader, but I obviously can't stop you guys. But I went over my watch list, watching OPGN, TOPS, GEVO, CTRM, and EDSA. It's tough too, guys. It sucks. CTRM was one of those plays I was looking to swing. She was giving it like 2 more weeks, and kind of sucks too, seeing it up 40%. Not gonna lie. So I'm a little pissed off. But hey, I have to stay level-headed. Can't be emotional. It is what it is. If I don't bank on shippers this year, it's perfectly fine. The last 2 years I killed it, so it is what it is. Not gonna stop me from trading it today though. What causes shippers to move during those months? AJ, it's a good question. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not sure if it's just shipping season's a little more active during those months, but if you go back and look, every November, October, you just see shippers just going crazy rips. So you could look up GLBS, last November. You could see it went on a nice rip. I swung this one at like $4 or $5 yesterday. Sold at 11. Same thing with DCIX. DCIX. This one was This was my swing 2 years ago on DCIX. You can see DCIX. Ran crazy back in 2017. And then this year I was looking for CTRM and tops, but they kind of ran early. CTRM and tops. Not saying this is like the big run I was looking for. It's kind of more looking for like an $8-9 move on like CTRM and tops. I was looking for like 10 plus, but they ran these past 2 days. I guess I was a little late, but we'll see if they run again. In the near future, and we could look for a swing. It's a good point. Come to. It's definitely a possibility. It is. I think it is earnings seasons for some of these shippers. Tops had their earnings. CTRM just had their earnings, I believe. All right. Market is about to open. Yeah, Johnny, that's what I was looking for. Usually shippers move in the fall. I'm not saying it's like the big shipper run now. Usually, they'll go a lot more crazier than this. But yeah, they usually run October, November. It's only September 5th. So that's why I didn't, look for a swing just yet. I was kind of waiting more towards like end of September for a swing. But it looks right now that they're, starting to go a little earlier. We'll see. CTRM, for 60s now. All right, so pretty strong push out of the gates on CTRM 460s. Going for 5 now on CTRM. 489, new high there. EDSA, how's this one looking on EDSA? So let's see on EDSA. So EDSA, guys, did take a short there at 490 on EDSA. You're looking for a fader here. CTRM has the hype right now. Could see EDSA be a fader, but if this thing does break the highs, we'll stop on out. But I am short right now, 490 EDSA. Looking for like 450s target. There we go, EDSA. Nice, very nice. Alright, all out there on EDSA 440, so really nice trade there. Really nice short. So wow, 430's now in the bid, so this one's even going even down further. I covered there at 449. I didn't have a crazy position either because it still is a lower float, so didn't have any crazy size on it. Only had like 2,000 shares, but still made a nice profit there. Alright, let's see what else we got going on. See any other plays. OPGN. CTRM pretty extended here. I can't be buying up here. You have to wait some sort of pullback to, if I'm going to look for this one. Let's see, OPGN. Like to see a little bit bigger on a push there on OPGN if I'm going to get in that one. So honestly, I would want to see more towards the low $4 on CTRM if I'm going to get long this one. CTRM, this thing could definitely trap here on CTRM. We'll watch it. Low fours for a long. Here's the push on OPGN as well. So watching OPGN also for a short. EDSA, this one trying to curl a little bit too. Just talking to a few people. I want to see how the borrow situation is on CTRM. All right, so I'm seeing shares are back. On some brokers. That's a good sign for a possible long. So you could definitely see a possible short trap here on CTRM. All right, so we're coming down now, low fours. So now there's a few options you could look for now. You could look for this $4 dip and then cut it below 4. And if it breaks down to 4, then reclaims, then you could look for a second entry. So those are two options I'm looking at right now. So the option could be long here, risking 4, or wait for, reclaim of 450 and push, or it could snap 4, then reclaim 4 again. Excuse me, 450. But now it's stumping now below 4. Let's see if it's gonna go over under 4. Or is it gonna trade below 4? May just give it a go here. Some shares on CTRM to this washout. Anticipating this trap. So I did get some there on CTRM. Definitely possible it could crack and go lower than reclaim later on, but pretty low risk here on this entry here. So you want to see it base above 4 now on CTRM. So first target will be like 430, 440s if we do get there. There's OPGN too, coming up to these levels that I was eyeing down. VTZ, yeah, man, trade whatever setups work for you. You know, I don't want anyone trading, my setups, but CTRM, does have a lot of potential today for a, to be a squeezer. So right now I have a 405 average on CTRM. Let's see, OPGN. So first target on CTRM will be like 430s, 440s. If we do get there. If not and we fail, I'll stop out and I could always try again if it starts to reclaim. Nothing wrong with taking a little paper cut. And that's why you don't want to go massive, buying these dips. So let's see if we get this 420 push, get up to like 430s. I could look to take some there, and then I'll look to play out the rest for maybe a bigger picture move like 450s, 470s. Good morning, Caesar. So let's see, we're having a little trouble here at 420s. Having a little trouble here at 420s. You guys could see that. So we got to get over this level soon, or we're gonna slam back on down. Here we go, CTRM. Very nice, very nice. Perfect CTRM, very nice. Just took half there at 435, so I did sell half of my shares. Great job off that dip. So now the rest, my stop loss will now be on the rest, 399. So I'm risking 6 cents on the trade, and I'm still holding 3,000 shares from a 405 entry. So I just locked in like just about a K on that trade, selling half. So that's put me a nice up 1,500 on the day. Still holding some shares. It's definitely possible we could. We're gonna have some trouble here at this 450 level. This will be the VWAP level. If we can break over 450, we could definitely see much higher on CTRM. And there goes OPGN, 870s. So I'm going to be a little cautious there on OPGN. You know, sometimes the slow walk on up does scare me a little bit. I do breathe looking for 450. Thanks, Johnny. Appreciate it. But definitely make sure you guys are locking in along the way on on this trade here. So it is looking a little heavy. You can see the tape's looking a little heavy there. You know, I thought we'd see a little bit more explosion, you know, as we broke 420. You know, big stuff there, OPGN. Big stuff move. It's an OPGN. Kind of kicking myself a little. I didn't take there. I was thinking about taking a short. I was like, I seen this slow walk happen. I forgot what play it was. We saw it recently. It was like a slow walk up, got halted, you know, ran really big, then it died. So maybe I'll take a smaller position short on OPGN here. So I did reserve some borrows. Mark, no worries. I have a 405 average on CTRM. You know, I already locked in on the play, so, you know, on the rest of my shares, you know, we'll stop out below 4 for a, you know, small loss, but in the end, you know, will be a, you know, a green trade for me. So far, 2 for 2 on the day for me. 2 for 2 on my trading. So some selling pressure here on CTRM is looking a little bit weaker here. We'll see if 4 could hold. But just the tape looks very heavy on it. You guys can see that, right? Your level 2 is looking pretty heavy. But, you know, it's still holding 4. So, you know, as long as 4 holds, you know, I'm going to hold. Once 4 cracks, you know, I will be out. And that's why it's always good to lock in along the way. You know, in case of you know, something like this happening. IG Breathe locked in 500. You know, great job, man. Great job. Yeah, I agree, Addy. You know, I would say below like 370, it's over. But you know, I have to stop out below 4. That is my risk level. But you know, it could definitely like I said, it could definitely crack 4 and bounce off like 380, 370. It's definitely possible. But you know, I have to stick to my risk level. If you guys like it, you could always, you know, re-enter, you know. But you know, I gotta stop out below 4. But like I said, you know, it could definitely bounce off that 380 level. You know, we liked these are our EMA lines. You know, love buying, you know, off these lines. So you can see the lines are at 390 to 380. So definitely come down to the support here. But yeah, we want to see it hold 4 for our trade here. Guys, I did take OPGN short, so I'm short OPGN. You know, riskier trade. Definitely not a beginner trade. You know, is a low volume, low float stock, but it is on that day 2. You know, it is day 2. Volume is looking pretty weak, and it is right at that resistance level from yesterday on OPGN. So I do have a very small position short on it. Yeah, like I apologize, guys. If you ever hear dogs barking, you know, I do have a few dogs. And I do trade in my living room because my brother's a big gamer, so he has his own gaming station set up in my room. So he kicked me out, and now I have to trade in the living room. So I've been doing it for 3 years in the living room. So OPGN, you know, I have short 830. I'm short. You know, only 800 shares, but you know, is a you know they have to give it a bigger risk. So I am risking 50 cents on it, but I'm looking to make $1. You know, if it cracks, I could always adjust my stop and go from there. CTRM holding 4 nice. We still haven't cracked $4. You're putting in a higher low there. So who's anyone else still holding CTRM? You know, starting to push here. They're starting to push a bit here on CTRM, going for this 440 mark. Did get rejected here last time. We'll see how it turns out in this attempt. Yeah, I am still holding 3,000 shares on CTRM. Nice OPGN back at $8. Wow, big stuff move there, CTRM. Big stuff move. Yeah, that's a perfect example of a stuff right there. So I do have my finger on the trigger because it does look like it will. It does look like it's gonna crack $4 here. We'll see though. Big stuff move there. Went from right that 440 mark right back to 405. Nice. OPGN, back under 8. Very nice. Very nice. So CTRM just channeling here between $4 and 4.40. Back and forth, back and forth. So we'll see OPGN. Quick reclaim back to 820s. So kind of back on my entry, but I'm in small on that one. So not too bad. Yeah, Pinu, it's definitely possible. It could crack 4, come to like 380, 390, and then, reclaim and push maybe 11 o'clock or 10:30. So it's definitely possible we could crack 4 here, but it doesn't mean it's the end for CTRM. So if you guys, if you're in at like $4, I mean, it's totally up to you. But if you want to give it more wiggle room, you want to like give it to like maybe 370 and stop below that. You could definitely look for that, because there's definitely a possibility that it could crack 4 and reclaim. But right now it's holding 4. Yeah, there is news on CTRM. Someone did post it in this live chat, earlier on. They have a bidder there at 410, 25K shares. OPGN, let's see, coming up to 830. See if it fails that mark. And so is anyone holding on CTRM still? Let me know. Hopefully you guys took some profits along the way from any entries, back at that $4 mark. Definitely not a bad trade for some scalps too. Each time it comes to 4, it's bouncing. Not a bad play to scalp. Yeah, so it seems like a lot of you guys sold it. Nice. Looks like looks like there's a soaker there. You see a 410, 50K shares. Definitely looks like someone is propping this on up. Let's see if volume starts to move in here on CTRM. You know, watch the bids here. You can see these shippers just have a mind of their own. You know, just seeing the shippers run the past 3 years. You know, from DRYS to DCIX, SLNO. You know, they just do crazy things. You know, they'll trap shorts, trap longs. They're really unpredictable. So that's why I like investing in them early. You know, before they run. But we got a nice trade out of it today though on CTRM. But definitely more on the trickier side though. So right now, just watching the tape, watching the volume. You know, it could really go either way here on CTRM. You know, whether we crack 4 or start to push over 440. It is 10:04 right now. Still holding on to OPGN as well. Smaller trade on that one. Yeah, right. Dreambox is a crazy fight here on CTRM at the moment. Let's see, 430s again. Are we gonna push here? Come on, CTRM, let's do it. You guys are wondering where I'm looking to take? Probably look to sell into strength over 450, to be honest. It is possible to think it, go much higher, but I just want to be smart and lock on in on the trade. So 460s, 470s, probably my target if we do get there. But just a seesaw battle here, back and forth. $4, back up to 430s, back down to 4. Just crazy action on CTRM, and this is what you expect from shippers. Shippers are absolutely nuts. Shippers do absolutely wild things from what I've seen the past 3 years out of them. So it's not surprising at all seeing something like this on CTRM. Rob Bear, I'm halfway through the year. Oh yeah, I'm doing very well in the year. I'm up. I haven't checked what exactly I'm up on the year. I think last month I made like 25,000, 26, something like that. It definitely could be accumulation push. There's trapping shorts here and then pushing, or could just be just someone creating an exit for themselves to sell. It's definitely possible. So we just gotta react and stick to our stop losses, stick to our stops, our exits. That's really all we could do right now, and just watch the tape, watch the volume. If you guys are looking to get in, you could look for this 440 break. You could look for a $4 dip buy, or you could let it crack $4 and then look for a 380, 390 entry. So those are like three options you could look for, or you could just sit out. You don't have to look for a trade all the time. If you don't have a strong conviction on it, then there's no reason to pull the trigger. Look at that, each time it's just getting sold into, each pop. And you can see the same thing for each dip. Each dip's being bought up. Each time it looks like it's about to break, it just gets sold into. Each time it looks like it's about to break down, it just gets bought up. on CTRM. Let's see, another 430. I meant 440 test here. You have to get over that mark. I would say the real mark would probably be 450. You know, I'd say that's where a lot of shorts would stop out. Man, just crazy. Just look how it's being bought up, you know, each dip. Dreambox. I don't know. It's been too many to count. Too many to count. Let's see. I mean, you know, just a back and forth battle. I mean, that's all really you could say. You know, commentating this, just back and forth. You know, it's just a war right now. You know, that's really all I can say right now. You know, we'll see who wins. But clearly, there's definitely a soaker on both sides. You know, on the bid side and on the S. Let's see, 40K bidder right here. Yeah, Dreambox. You know, I think it's gonna be a crazy spike or a crazy drop. You know, a lot of stop losses are gonna be in for longs below 4, and a lot of short stops are gonna be over 450. So it's definitely gonna be a crazy move to the upside or downside. It'd be very anticlimactic if it's not, right? Now OPGN, below 8 again. Still holding OPGN short. You know, looking for like 740s on that one, 750s. from my 8:30 average. I mean, candlestick patterns. I don't really go off the candlesticks too much. You know, I'll look at it and be like, oh, this is a hammer candle here. That's a bullish sign. Could mean a reversal. Oh, there's an upper shadow here. Could be a bearish sign. So really, hammer candles and upper shadows. Hammer candles are bullish, so you see, lower buying wicks. That's bullish sign. You can see lower buying wick, lower buying wick. Then you see the opposite. Upper shadows, a bearish sign. So not a good sign when you see those. But as far as like stopping out after seeing one of those, probably not. Because the thing is, I'm not. I kind of know my trading style. I'm not gonna be buying a $5 break. Because then this could happen on you. I'm gonna be buying into support, or I'll be buying the reclaim. So I just go off support and resistance lines for my stop loss, and I always have it stop in mind before I enter a trade. Same thing with an exit. So really don't like. So really nothing really wake me out, unless something, I don't know, unless something crazy happens, then I'll stop out, like a death drop or something like that. So just letting OPGN, work its way down, 780s now. Still in that one short. And CTRM still holding strong my 405 entry, but at this point it's really a 50-50. What was predictable was that $4 dip for move back on up, but now it's just so much sideways consolidation that it's to the point where it's a 50-50. It's a coin toss right now. But that's the perfect example why we always look to sell, to lock in along the way. This trade, no matter what, unless an offering comes out, hopefully not, it will be a green trade because, I was a smart trader and I had a first exit target and I locked in. So, by me doing that, I preserved my profits on the trade. What time frame chart do you like to look at? I like to look at for penny stocks, the 1 minute, the 3 minute, and the 5 minute. For big caps, only using the 3 and 5 minute. But most of the time, I'll be in the 1 minute for small caps. And obviously, I'll look at the daily chart, on each play. Man, this thing just needs to make a direction already. It's already 10:20. EDSA. EDSA, nice little red to green, higher low pattern. Wow, so I pretty much bottom ticked that on that short there. Got out at like 440. Yeah, it definitely looks tricky there on the short side now on EDSA. Higher low is breaking over 5, so I'd probably avoid that, short. But nice little pattern there for anyone who did catch that. CTRM, guys, looking pretty weak. If I had to take a guess, I'd probably say it's probably will crack. But, who really knows? But right now it is looking pretty weak. And there it is. There it is. Stopped out. 390s. All out. So all out of CTRM right there. And like I said, this could definitely trap and reclaim. But I had to stick to my my exit. My exit was 399. So I did stop out right there. And you guys kind of saw that if you watched the replay. It looked pretty weak right there. It was kind of curling downwards. The tape was getting really heavy. And just a lot of selling. A lot of selling moved on in. So it definitely looks like someone was just creating an exit for themselves. And looks like the the shorts won there. But we still got a nice long out of it too. So yeah, ended up being a green trade on CTRM. So I made about just under $900 on that trade, and still holding some OPGN and EDSA. I made about just under 600 on that one. So solid little morning. 2 for 2 in my trades. Still working on OPGN, but that one's working in my favor right now. Yeah, Victor, this this could definitely be a a bounce here on CTRM. Would not be surprised if it bounces here 380s, 390s, reclaims, and then squeezes from here on out. But like I said, I don't want to sound like a broken record. I have to stick to my my stop. Because in the case that it doesn't, then I'll let that winner turn into a loser. But I would say CTRM. I wouldn't want to see it below 370. I would say below 370 the play's done. So, if you guys really like it, you think it's gonna, reclaim and squeeze, then this is your entry here, 380s, risking 370. But for me, probably not gonna be taking this trade on CTRM. I already made my money on it, so I don't want to go back to the well too many times. Oh, you meant TEUM? Yeah, TEUM. Going for some new highs here. This one not a bad play here on TEUM. I remember this one. Yeah, this one used to be like a sick grinder. Remember, a lot of shorts got crushed on this one. They were trying to top tick, and it just kept on going and going and going, and finally got sold into. But now trying to get a bounce here. Alright, it's 10:27 right now. So maybe I'll give the stream another like 15 minutes, unless something happens exciting. So maybe I'll give it to like 10:45, around there. CTRM's trying to hold 380s, but it just looks very weak. The tape volume's weak, so getting in here, is a little bit more risky. I'd probably play the 370 line if you are getting in here. So 380s, 390s, stop below 370. Probably the best bet for now in CTRM would be just consolidation, and then a reclaim later on in the day. That'll probably be the best bet, for another long. Alright. Let's see. So if you guys have any questions now, I'll answer some questions. Things are kind of slower now. The action's kind of died down a bit. OPGN trade is gonna be a slow fader, hopefully. So I don't have to focus on it too much. Have my limit orders out, and CTRM going sideways here. 380s, 390s. Does look a little trappy CTRM, but just the volume and tape's pretty slow on it. But is holding that 380 mark though. You kind of see that on CTRM. Pino, thanks. Have a great day as well. So I see some of you guys are hopping on off, and there's CTRM starting to crack a little. 370. We'll see the 370 line looks. Below that, it's probably toast. I'll probably hop off myself in like another 10 minutes. So you guys have any last questions? You guys have any questions about my trades or just anything you guys could ask? I'll answer most of the questions. As long as it's not like too personal. Rob, hey man, that's it's totally up to you. if I were in right now, I would have a stop at 369. So if it cracked 370, I would stop out. But yeah, Rob, just make sure you have a stop in mind because it could definitely tank even lower. A lot of these plays they'll go a lot lower than you think, these penny stocks. Let's see. You got a few questions. Dreambox, what does that mean? Yeah, sometimes you'll see that. You'll see like two thousands or three 2000s. Just be could be some bid propping. For some market makers or some bigger hands. Just playing some games in the level 2 to try to maybe scare some shorts out or get some longs to start buying on up. So, or it could just be just two people have the same orders at the same time in the level 2. But I would probably say it's probably some market makers playing some games in the level 2. But yeah, I definitely know what you mean. I see that all the time. It's just there's some games being played by the market makers. We don't. I mean, it may not be real. It could be fake. It could definitely be fake. At the same time, it could be real. We really don't know. The only people who know are the people who are doing that. Nick, I'm finding it hard past few days to have missed entries, and I got in at the wrong times. What should I do? It could just be like a confidence thing. You know, uh, Maybe you're lacking a little confidence, and that could be, because you're not, 100% prepared for the day. Maybe you're not having an accurate watch list. You want to have a detailed watch list of, what exactly you're looking for. So I have a bunch of patterns, a bunch of setups I look for, every day, and I'm prepared. When the stocks come to those levels, I'm ready. When my order's out, ready to go. So for CTRM, I was looking for the wash trap and squeeze pattern. You can see we got this initial run on up, came down to the wash, and I said, guys, looking for like this $4 area for the wash to get long, and it came down to 4, and I pulled the trigger, went for it, and it started to consolidate. This was the trap, but it just failed the trap. But I had that first exit target that I ended up making myself green on the trade. And then for OPGN, went over yesterday that I'll be looking for a pop into this $8 region, risking 9. But this one, it's a little weird because I like when it has this slow walk on up. I do get a little nervous, a little cautious. But this one did failing. You could see a lot of selling volume came up to that $9 level that I was looking at. So it's the day 2 setup on OPGN. Same thing with TOPS, but that one didn't really have enough volume, or it didn't really have too much range to get short into. But the day 2 setup, just looking for a day 1 that kind of closed pretty weak. I don't like when they close strong on the day 2 short setup. So it closed weak. It had a gap down, and then it had a morning pop into yesterday's resistance levels, and I looked for a short. Map out those levels. Have your orders ready to go. So a lot of it's just being prepared, having a playbook, having a setup, and then just having the confidence to pull the trigger. Once you have a setup that you tracked over and over again, you really shouldn't have any fear of getting in, and you shouldn't be missing your entries. So I hope that helps. Uh, Gobi, yeah, I just explained it, so I hope that that you can understand it a little bit better now on the OPGN trade. But usually, sometimes I will look for. Sometimes I will be shorting into this, but this one, just being that it's a very low float on OPGN, I didn't short at my levels. The levels were that 850 to $9 region to get short, and I just didn't short this one into the pop here because of the float. Just a slow walk on up, a little cautious. So this one I kind of waited to see the weakness, and I saw the weakness. It had a big upper shadow here. Then it came into this pop here. It failed. Once it failed this pop here, I started getting short here 830s, and I'm still holding on to that 830 average right now. I just want to see a little bit of a wash down to like 770s, 760, 750s, and I'll look to get out. And I don't have a big position either. CTRM is yet to crack. It's yet to crack yet. Still holding this 380 level. So I'd say once that orange line cracks there at 370, it's probably game over for CTRM. But right now it's 10:38. I'll probably give it another 3 more minutes. So any last questions, I'll be happy to answer. Not a bad day this morning. I was a little tired this week. Just not really feeling too great this week. But I had a solid day yesterday and today. 2 for 2 on my trades, and OPGN works out. It'll be a 3 for 3 day. First name, very nice. Quick day trade on CTRM. Very nice. Sure, a lot of you guys took that trade at that $4 mark. That $4 dip buy was really nice. Nice. You're up big on Workhorse also. Nice. I know. I feel like everyone kills Workhorse. Come to Life was all over that one for so long. A lot of people killed it on that swing. Very nice. First name, if you're on the Discord, hop over in Discord. Links down below in the description. That goes for all you guys who aren't in Discord. Definitely go check it out. It's totally free. Why don't you trade the full day until close? A lot of my setups that I have, are work best between the first, 2 hours of the market. Between I take that back. Excuse me. From pre-market, so from 7 a.m. Eastern time to around 11, 11:30. Those are the times where my patterns works best. That's when there's the most volume in the market, the most liquidity. After 11:30, lunch hours are very low volume. It's a little bit unpredictable lunch hours, and you don't see the amount of volume during that time. So I like to play these stocks when there's the most volume and liquidity, and that's within the first 2 hours of the market and in pre-market. And I'm not I don't want to overtrade either. I'm more of a sniper. I like looking for setups, taking maybe 1 or 2 trades a day, maybe sometimes more, sometimes less. Sometimes I take no trades. So it really depends on the market, depends on the setups that I'm seeing on that particular day. But I know traders who trade bell to bell, and they do very well for themselves. They trade 9:30, they'll be on all day, they'll get up at 4, and they'll make a living that way, and that's great. Everyone's a different trader. It's just whatever's working for you. And I found in the past that for me, over trading too much, going back to the well too many times, I just get burned. So I like being disciplined and taking good setups. All right, I'll probably give it like 1 or 2 more minutes, and I'll wrap it all up. Be over in Discord, helping any of you guys out. So make sure you guys are over in Discord. Yeah, first name, I'd say for most people, over trading is never good. But some people trade multiple times. I'm talking like 20, 30, 40 times a day, and they do well. So it just really depends on what type of trader you are. I would say something like that would work best for a large account. Let's say you had like a 6-figure account, and you could scalp 5,000 shares here, boom, in and out. 10,000 shares, boom, quick 10 cents, in and out, over and over again. I mean, you could trade that way, but not everyone has the luxury of having that large account and being able to scalp some big size. And even some of these plays, it's tough to get in and out like that. I'd probably say that would work best for bigger cap stocks. For trading like the Apples or the Amazons or the Facebooks of the world. And you have a bigger account, and you could scalp those because those trade tons of volume every day. Yeah, EDSA scanners here. Looks like CTRM's hanging on by a thread here on CTRM. So right at that 370 support. We'll see if it's gonna hold or not. But below 370, I would say you should probably cut it if you're still long. But alright guys, I've been on pretty long. I said I was going to get off at 10:40. It's 10:44 now. So that being said, I'm going to wrap up the stream now. I'll be over in Discord, helping you guys on out. And wow, tomorrow's Friday already. So tomorrow coming down to the end of the week, first week of September in the books. So I'll be back at it again tomorrow. So hope you guys enjoyed today's stream, and that's going to be it for me. Peace.